Fellas, it is finally happening. We have America's sweetheart now. It's not just a Heisman Trophy winner and a #1 overall pick. This is everybody's speech giver.
Hold up, limitless. Niggas to me, God pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Niggas to me, God pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.
Jameis Winston, man, welcome to the show. This is Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, I'm Ryan Clark, Pivot Fam. Thank you for pivoting with us. Jameis, man, there's so much to get into, but something that was really beautiful that you got to experience this year was in the summer was going to Africa. Talk a little bit about why that was important to you and how that trip affected you.
Before I get into that, I just want to let y'all know how much I respect y'all and how beautiful it is to see 3 African-American academic athletes, because I know it takes so much research that y'all do and knowing what y'all talk about and the dedication it takes of really not just speaking your heart and your opinion, but speaking in the best interest of the athlete and whoever that you're interviewing. So I just value that so much, especially with so many different podcasts and things going around. I know I always tune in to Pivot because I feel like one of y'all. So thank you so much for just using our platform to bring life and information to all of us. So
man,
thank you.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
In terms of Africa, me and my life mastery consultant always say that gratitude is the key to abundance. And I feel like the Rwandan people were so gracious and they didn't depend on the things that I feel like myself as a Westerner, as an American, would depend on. Everywhere we went, our guide, Eugene, he would pray. And not just like, praying over your food, praying when you get up in the morning, praying at night, saying your prayers. But he was praying for every little thing. So what that showed me was just his dependence and faith, like really on the Lord. Like he's not trusting into like, man, we got a Mercedes, and I know this Mercedes brake gonna work. I know that it's riding good. I'm not worrying about my transmission or lights. Like he's just like, no, like, Lord, I need you to get us to this destination. Mm-hmm. Lord, I'm praying for your safety to this destination. We walking out the car. We're praying as we get out the car that we have an impactful moment going to wherever we're going. So I would feel like the Rwandan people, they're so gracious in the way that they carry themselves with pure joy and pure dependence. Like it was an unreal, faithful experience because I went with this nonprofit organization called Compassion, and they're church-led, Christ-centered, and children-focused. So we focus on providing resources and really sponsoring kids for single moms during their first year of childbirth to provide them with all the doctors and all the resources that they need for their children to live. Whether it's malnutrition, whether it's their environment, whatever, just supporting them through that. But man, I got so much more from just doing a mission trip of supporting kids because me and my wife, we invested into Compassion and to help build like these community centers, these churches that provides the whole community, not just that one child that you sponsor, but really the whole community with a way of life with Christ. And it was beautiful because the first place we went to, they just wanted to show me like, okay, James, this is what you're investing in. This church community center has been running for 7 years, and this is how it's sustaining itself, right? And then they took me to the place that me and my wife invested into, and my sister, like my cousin, she had sponsored a child there. And the kids were younger. The kids now were age 3 to 5. The first place we went, the kids were like ages 7 to 12. Mm-hmm. And these churches, they grow with the kids. So to walk up in this place where we were serving food to the kids, like they singing, dancing, just joyful feeling. You could feel everything like coming over you and you just feel like the Spirit just talking to you like, man, like you serving, but you doing the Lord's work. Like these kids are looking at you as like you bringing life to this whole community. And it's not just the kids, it's the adults. They looking at you like, oh man, like we gonna eat because of what you provide to us. You know what I'm saying? Like we gonna be able to, get a new goat because you have provided this for this young kid. Like, so it was just, we were bringing life, but the way they view it is like, we don't need it. Like, this is not something that we need.
Yeah,
but
we're not expecting to have this.
We're thankful for you for coming out of your way to come over here and serve us, right? Because obviously we take responsibility for our community, but we're gonna welcome you into our community, and we're gonna walk with you, and we're gonna allow you to play an integral role into our children's, like our kids that we're not able to really provide for as much. You know, we can provide them with joy. We can provide them with self-esteem. But in terms of the resources that you're bringing, we don't have the makeup for that. And it just was a beautiful moment, man. Again, at this first church, but going to that second church, community center, where I'm walking up the hill, man, and like, it's just like I see a rainbow of people in different colors, like singing, we dancing, and it's just like, I instantly went to, the Muhammad Ali, George Foreman fight where Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X are in the streets and they're saying, Ali Boumaye, and that instantly stuck with me, because I'm like, man, the impact that this man, Muhammad Ali, made for, losing his belt and saying that I'm gonna fight all my fights in Africa, like make that transition, and I'm just making a small piece of just making a decision to go and serve someone outside of my own community, and seeing the impact in the whole community just coming and providing support. And I actually preached my first sermon, like an hour and 15-minute long sermon, and had a translator in Rwandan while I'm speaking to this whole community. And they're just there, they're supporting just because they know that me and my wife are providing a way for their kids, for their youth, and that just hit with me, man. Just learning different things about Rwanda, understanding that Rwanda was had a genocide 31 years ago. Mm-hmm. Literally, the year I was born, they had a genocide, and now their country is still vibrant and so together and connected and singing, and just like, it's all in unison. And I just was, I was taken away by Africa, man. And I'm happy because my wife, she had that typical Western point of view of like, oh man, we're gonna go to Africa, we ain't gonna have no water, we ain't gonna have no electricity. Yeah. Like, she was like, I already got she had the braids, so she ain't had to worry about a hair, you know what I'm saying? But like, she just had like, what am I gonna do? That fear of the unknown, which is like, man, like, what I'm gonna do? Man, we get to Rwanda, man, we stand in a 4-point Sheraton that look like a Four Seasons now. Like, they got the weight room, I'm getting my workout in, man, they got a private sauna, like, and I'm just like, man, people don't see Africa in this light. But you drive 3 hours to a remote location where there ain't no roads. It's just here. You're seeing people walking with no shoes, with big 2x4 metal plates because they built in the house, or big bags of rice on the back of their bike as they pedaling up. Do you know how hard it is to ride a bike with no shoes? I'm just saying, like, Do you know how hard it is? Like, so they either had no shoes, they had flip-flops on. Do you know how hard it is to ride bikes with flip-flops on? Like, you had to have shoes on, or the Crocs at least put in a sport mode to ride a bike. And they carrying, I'm telling you, they carrying bushels of bananas, rice sacks, up incline. Rwanda is called the land of 1,000 hills and 1,000,000 smiles. And these people, they're not complaining. Yeah. They not, and from the look of their eyes, they're not suffering. Yeah. They're present. They're all they dependents, like, they got faith that they gonna see a better day. And they okay with it.
As we see, bro, we've been around you some. Your passion is crazy. Mm-hmm. Your faith is crazy. I would say when I got to the Dolphins, if it was my quarterback, I wouldn't listen to you. Yeah. Cause it just like, it sounds like butterflies and flowers. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, a dude came from Atlanta, from the hood, and you speaking like this, like, it would be like, man, here go Jameis again. Like, how does the locker room accept your passion for what you do? Not on the field, they know you could throw a touchdown, but off the field, how does the locker room respond to you?
The locker room respond to me well because it's every day. It ain't just like a one-time thing. It's consistent. And like, I'm that kid from the hood from Bessemer. Mm-hmm. So my experiences of being like who you are, like, you gotta be that. Or somebody will check you for you not being who you are. And I think that's where, when I first came into the NFL, while I was trying to feel around and please other people and not focus on my roots and where I came from and realized like that was enough. Like you didn't have to go outside of your boundaries just because you were an NFL quarterback. You didn't have to present yourself in a certain type of way just because you were an NFL quarterback. Now you had a responsibility and you had requirements to be that NFL quarterback, and obviously representing that shield is something that's in a whole different level. But I think that's why my teammates respect it, because initially I was the guy, I'd be like, I say something, motivational, and then I sit back, and I say something funny, and then I sit back. But then once I understood, like once I saw, when Byron Leftwich was my offensive coordinator, and I had an offensive coordinator that was an African-American, I had Bruce Arians coming to that building, and he was like, James, I want you to be who you are. Mm-hmm. I had Clyde Christensen, that Coach Payne Manning, Tom Moore, like this new regime, they just like, man, I want you to be who you are, be free-loving, go out there, no risk, no biscuit. But he just was a player's coach that spoke life into his players. So I felt like an imposter if I wasn't talking the way that I talked when I was in Alabama, lifting up my teammates like on a continuous basis and not compromising for losing. Mm-hmm. Like, because that's how I was when I first got in the league. I would compromise, like, say those sayings like, oh man, it's a long season. Mm-hmm. Well, it's okay. Like, no. Being okay with that and being silent in those times, to me, is fake. Mm-hmm. You gotta be the same person every single day. Mm-hmm. And once you're the same person every single day, you earn that respect for who you are. I think about, like, me and my wife was talking about this the other day. And she was like, man, why you think people starting to realize that that you're a good person now and they ain't care about you being a good person when you was younger? I was like, because other people saying it, baby. Mm-hmm. Like now my testimony has spoke for itself. Now other people are witnesses to that. I can't come out there and say, like, man, well, I'm a good person. You know what I'm saying? I like to have fun and this. But they like, oh, no, you're not. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. But when other people are able to vouch with you, and when other people see you consistently who you are every single day, and they say, well, you know what? Like, he is all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, then people be like, oh, well, you know what? Yeah, he might be okay. This person said it. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So it takes someone else. Again, someone else's character is who you are when no one is watching. Wow. Right? So who you are every single day. Are you showing up every single day? I think over time, that just became a thing. Now people say like, oh, this Jameis is fun. But I've been the same person. Wow. But only in small segments when I was younger in the league. Because I had to listen. I had to earn my stripes. Yeah. But as I got older, obviously, in terms of manhood, in terms of just self-awareness, emotional intelligence of knowing who you are, and realizing like you suppressing who you are is more detrimental to you than you not being who God calls you to be. Mm-hmm. Just coming to realization with that. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, every time we come across paths, man, you're full of joy, always passionate, grateful. I don't know how people could have misread the book of Jameis. Like, you're just so full of life, man. And, I do want to ask you, with everything, are you at peace?
I still pray for peace. I'm asking Jesus for peace that surpasses all understanding. I wouldn't say that. I would say that my heart is at peace, but professionally, like, no, I'm not at peace because I'm not where I want to be in terms of my profession. I have not accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish in terms of my profession. But man, my family verses, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Before that verse, actually Pittsburgh Steelers chaplain actually was the first person to kind of introduce me to a different view of that family verse, where he talked about, Paul, who is the writer of Philippians, mm-hmm. and he's not just talking about I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Like, that's like my 3 rules of life. My dad told me it was God, school, and I could do anything I put my mind to. He wasn't talking about I could do anything I put my mind to as long as Jesus with me. He was talking about, like, man, I am in jail. I am suffering. I've made do with a lot. I've made do with little. And then in verse 12, he said he understood what it was meant to be content. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I am content. But also, another good pastor said, content don't mean satisfied.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So though I am content, and I know that everyone has a role, especially in the NFL, and serving is one of my most important roles until the opportunity presents itself for me to go out there and ball. When that presents itself, I do that. But serving is a part of my role that I have to embrace, and I have to put 100% in that, because that's the position that I'm in. That's the position that I put myself in this position. So again, understanding that from an emotional side, realizing like, man, like I'm gonna tell my son, like, hey son, like I'm not good enough. We got to keep going. Like I tell him, I was like, I'm not perfect, and he tells me like, but everyone wants me to be like you. I was like, please, I hope no one wants you to be like me, right. Like, because you're the only person that could be you. Mm-hmm. And I just speak that into his life, because man, like, yes, I love being me, but I wish me had a Super Bowl. I wish we had, some MVPs, some way more winning seasons. Yeah. I'm sorry talking me's and I's and all that stuff.
I get it.
But that's what I want for myself. That's what helped me be at peace.
Right.
Because you can't go home without those things, no matter how many accolades you have. Your people still gonna tell you, like, man, you ain't won no Super Bowl, man. Like, when the last time you won a playoff game? They think all the people on TV give you the business. It's your people that's closest to you that's gonna let you know
that's who it's
every
supposed to
single
be.
day. Yeah. And that accountability is like what drives you for more.
I have a question, because you talked about it when you gave us our flowers. We do try to get to the heart of some things. And you mentioned now you're the author, right? Or the orator of your narrative, when at first other people were. When you said your wife asked you, why do you believe they know you're a good person? Now, some of that, Jameis, was when you were young, was bad decision making. When you look back at who people perceived you to be coming into the league because of some of the things that have transpired, how did you grow from some of those decisions and the pain that it caused you?
Immediately, I grew from a decision-making standpoint because I knew there were some things that I could not do. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial in terms of the youthful decisions that I made, the crab legs and all the other different stuff. But in terms of just me, who I am, I literally just changed through patience of not being a person that reacts off certain situations, but learning how to respond, learning how to let something play out in front of me before I just be the person out in front, like, I'm gonna do this, and can't nobody tell me nothing. My quarterback coach, Damian Craig, he said this about me one time, and it kind of stuck with me. He's like, man, you fearless. He's like, but at some point, you're gonna have to fear the consequences. Just because you a dog or you want to do this, there's still gonna be consequences for everything that you do. And you gotta fear those more than you want to be fearless. I was like, Coach, I don't feel nothing but God, so I'm good. But as I grew older, I understood, even when it comes about, decision making on the field, I can make that throw, but I also have to fear the consequences to making that throw 9 times out of 10, opposed to 7 times out of 10. Yeah, I can party all night with my teammates, but sometimes I gotta fear the consequences of maybe I can do it and go out there and have a great game, but maybe some of the young bucks just don't have that in them, where they can go out there and do something to that magnitude and go out there and perform the way that they're capable of performing. It wasn't what was on me, it was what was in me. And I know that greater is he that is in me, that is he that is in this world. So I had to do away with some of the worldly things that I was okaying and getting by with just because of the grace of God and my talent, and start really understanding, okay, what is truly in me? What was ingrained from me from the very beginning? What did my grandmas, my aunties, my mother, my father, what did they instill in me? And am I aligning with those values? Or am I just allowing with the self-made values? I dislike every time when someone say, I'm self-made. Man, you've had somebody in your life,
yep.
Whether it's coach, uncle, it don't even gotta be a mom. You have somebody in your life that, for one point, believe in you more than you believe yourself.
Yep.
So yeah, it ain't for us to prove people wrong, but it's to prove those people right. And I had to get to that point where I do fear the consequences. I know that some of the decisions that I have made aren't aligned with the values and the principles that my people have instilled into me. And especially when I had my son, and when I married my wife, that got realer. That got way realer because now my decisions weren't just impacting me. It was impacting my legacy. It was impacting my family. It was impacting the mood in my home. Like everything was, okay, yeah, it truly is bigger than you now. It's not just like, I believe I'm humble. I believe it's bigger than me. It's just like, no, like if you don't do this right, your wife is going to suffer, right? And if your wife is suffering, now your baby is going to suffer. And now if your baby's suffering and your wife's suffering, you got to be suffering because there ain't no way you can be a man and be okay with your wife and your baby suffering.
That's real.
So it's simple as that.
And man, I've been defending your ass, even though you're a Seminole and I'm a Gator, and we both Gators. You don't like the Seminoles either. Hell, you a Tiger. I know. I fool with. I've been defending you on this crab leg shit for a decade.
Man, keep defending me, man.
No, but I'm gonna tell you my side, and I tell everybody this. There was the Hooters on Archer. I knew if I walked in the Hooters in Gainesville on Archer, I can get as much shit as I want. They gonna charge me $8. And I'm gonna put my credit card down, I'm gonna tip the lady $20, $28 I can eat all night. There was a Publix on 2nd Avenue by Wine Village. I can go in there and buy all the shit I want. I'm gonna walk out, they're gonna put it over the beep machine, and they're gonna beep one little pack of gum, and I'm gonna pay $2 for a whole basket full of groceries. Is that what happened with the crab legs?
Well, what happened is I ain't even had to hear no beep when I walked up in there.
You could walk in, grab it, and hit it.
It was a whole like miscommunication of how it happened. And I had to do in terms of like talking to compliance people at Florida State so I would not get suspended. And I would not lose no time at Florida State. So that is why I had to confess up to saying that I did something that I did not do. And that's the most simplest terms that I can put you. And I would tell you, the very next year, a young man out of Villanova was talking about how he was starving and this, that, and the other. And we started to get food vouchers and started to get automatic snacks and stuff in college. So I just consider myself a pioneer to opening up the NIL for all these other players. That Florida State has a history of having the hookup and then somebody turning on them and then they just going, why? And then they blame it. And then they blame it on the player.
Yeah.
Then they blame it on the player. But I had to take that one because I didn't want no games or anything coming from me. But again, that's another one of those decisions, right? Where when you look at the grand scheme of things, okay, if it was free, okay, when it was free, okay, just because you're able to do that doesn't mean that you're not able to not get the consequences when somebody inside the store say that you did do that. Now, what you gonna do if if you are policing your own self and someone inside the store say like, no, he did this, and they turn you and they flip their tape and they go back and look and they got the tape footage. Yeah. I'm gonna say, oh well, no, I got him for free. That's what. When they're gonna be like, no, you didn't get him for free, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to live with it. You think I'm gonna tell him myself? You think I'm gonna take care of me over you?
With the crab legs, though, there was no one in the store that understood what the situation was that could speak up for you in a situation like that?
Yeah, everybody. That's the thing with a lot of today's society. It's multiple people in the store that can speak up for me. But who is going to be that person to be that voice when it comes to consequences? Is it going to be someone that say, well, no, we're doing this with, the frat boys and so-and-so over there? Or is that person going to be like, yeah, I thought it was a hookup. That's not going to be the answer. The answer is going to be like, no, he did it. I'm good. I still got my job. Yes. Okay. Well, we good. And it's as simple as that.
Somebody got to take the consequences.
Like you said, feel the consequences.
You have to feel the consequences. Like, and I think like that was the biggest wave of like the social media wave where like everything was being filmed. So as soon as it happened, I'm getting calls, and I'm just like, man, I see it. I'm like, you see me what? Man, I see it. Got the crab legs. I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's on TV already. Like, man, I done went back and paid for the crab legs that night. I went back and took care of everything, like logistics. Like, it's no way that something like this, like it happened the same night. Dang. The same exact night. And I done took care of everything. Now I see the next day, Jameis Winston stole the crab legs. Next thing you know, I'm sweeping up YMCAs, washing off the weights at a local YMCA, you know what I'm saying, sweeping the pool out. I'm just like, man, like I'm doing community service over free 99.
Let's jump to 2019.
Yes.
Another moment where I want to ask you, did you feel like you did everything? You threw for 5,100 yards, over 30 touchdowns. You would still let go.
Yeah.
What more could you have done in order to still be a Buccaneer?
Won more games. I look at that year all the time. Like it was so many games when I go back and watch that film that we could have won, and it was because of me turning the ball over. And I look at that like obviously, everyone has their own say so in what happened in the game. Coaches say they'll never blame the player. Players say they'll never blame nobody else. But man, like I feel like our defense was getting hot at the end of the year with Todd Bowles. And like we were just set up, like Bruce Arians, Byron, Coach Clyde. We were set up for greatness, man. When this new coaching staff just came in, like I was playing free, I was playing fearless. Like I just turned the ball over, man. And that's what hurt me. That's what hurt that entire season. That's what hurt my payday. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's just again the consequences that I have to face. And that's something that I control.
Yeah, what'd you learn most about that year, those moments, and that's probably helped you now at this point in your career?
Well, one thing that happened that year, man, was it was one of the toughest times of my year, of my career, because I lost my grandmother the year before, my dad's mom. And my dad, who ain't never missed none of my games, I would talk to him every Friday. That year, I ain't talked to my dad. Like, no week. He ain't come to no games. He said early on in the year, he's like, man, I don't feel confident. I don't feel confident about this year. I'm not gonna support y'all. Like, look, my dad, he's like, I'm not gonna support it. And he was like, and I ain't gonna tell you why. Come to find out, like my uncle was going through some sicknesses, and he was dealing with depression of just having to deal with his mother and his brother passing, and I lost an integral part to me, because that's who I bounced everything off of, was my dad. I was fortunate to have a daddy, like that was my rock. And I felt, I ain't gonna say abandoned, because that's just, I felt like,
you feel alone?
I felt like I was alone that year. And that same year, that was the year I was intending to do right by the Lord and not have sex with my then fiance for the season. So I literally stayed in literally rented out another home to live in while my fiance and my 6-month-old son was at the house, and I separated myself from her, from society really. And it was just what I was reflecting off the field in terms of up and down, doing with something new, that was the same thing that was showing up on the field. So it was a bunch of goods that was happening. I was doing right by the Lord, by participating in celibacy with my wife. I was having a good year, throwing touchdowns, throwing for a bunch of yards, but I was broken because I didn't have my father with me. I was missing. I felt like that I was dependent on something from my wife that I was trying to overcome and do it right, because down south, like our folks don't believe in shacking, so
they do not.
I was shacking, so I had to pay for that and do right by my wife and honor our marriage and do that, and then football season.
Right.
So it was the same way it was an up and down year on the field. It was directly correlated to off the field, and the thing that I learned with that is, like, you have to get everything straight outside of the lines to be able to perform your best in the lines, because that is so, especially when you play high processing positions. When you play high process positions, every decision that you make, it cannot be just you just can't have in basketball terms, you just can't have a flagrant foul at the quarterback position. Because if you send somebody to the line or you get a ball to the other team, that's a possession that you lost. Like it ain't really no do-overs. Sometimes football affords you with do-overs throughout the course of a game, but it's not a lot of those. So I just really learned about the efficiency and the intentionality that you got to put in your family and the boundaries that you have to set heading into a season. Then before trying to take on all the different necessities of everything in the course of a season, especially playing the game of football.
Jameis, you are a very communal person, right? That's what leaders are, right? Leaders are people who thrive amongst groups because they make sure that the people in the group are moving and progressing forward as they're supposed to, and it's sort of their service, it's their mission. And being communal, though, relationships are important. And to separate yourself from your family with the good intention of celibacy, right, or not shacking, it's still to separate yourself from a relationship that was extremely vital to you.
Yeah.
Same with your father, with him going through what he was dealing with. He had to separate himself from you in a way, and that's another loss of a relationship. How are you with being alone then? Like, how does not having those people, or how does not having people affect you?
Well, I feel like that's where my faith was truly rooted. Clyde Christensen, man, he's an amazing coach and very spiritual. He is a warrior for Christ. And just him speaking to me and him staying on me about like preparing and my schedule, that was what was keeping me up throughout the course of that season. Having been there and done that, just like, hey man, just take everything you got to there on that grass, young fella. Like whatever you're going through, keep it on the grass, young fella. Take it out on the grass, young fella. Having people like that, because I wasn't lonely, but I was just alone, you know. And I, in my faith and my growth with God, understanding that like, okay, the people complex, like I love that. I'm a people person, but really, it's really just me, myself, and the Lord. Like that's who it is. And those consistent battles and learning how to understand like who you are and simply just really just trusting in the Lord with your whole heart and lean out to your own understanding. Like that's the type of faith that I was exhibiting at that time. I think the highs and lows were a reflection of like what I was doing off the field. Like all of it encompasses itself. So me being lonely, I don't believe like that was a thing.
How was it to watch that team that you thought had this incredible infrastructure to win? You had 5,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, but you also threw 30 interceptions. They go out and they get the GOAT. Mm-hmm. And then getting the GOAT, this team that you knew had that potential, that you wanted to lead to the promised land, wins a Super Bowl. Yeah. What was it like to watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a year after you leave win it all?
Man, it was exciting just because I knew I was certain that I was a part in building that culture and investing into that team to have the capacity to go and be led by the greatest to ever do it, to win the Super Bowl. But also it was just like it was a kind of a bittersweet feeling, just because the relationships I had with Mike and Will Ghost and Devontae. See me being so close to it, and then watching it throughout the whole course of the year, because I was in New Orleans, mm-hmm. So it's like I'm competing against them, but I'm watching it throughout the course of the year. And in the first game we play in the Superdome, and it's COVID, and no one's in the stands, and we beat them. We beat them in like it was a close game, but fourth quarter we ended up winning. And Tom had threw a pick six to Janoris Jenkins. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I threw a pick on that same route. You know what I'm saying? On the same route. So I knew he was executing the thing. And then to see them just make a whole shift after they came back from that bye week and get things going in the right direction, and to have the Green Bay game that Tom had in the playoff. Like, that wasn't a beautiful game from Tom, but he found a way to win. And that's why I was hurt about that, because I was like, I left games on the table in terms of winning. And the quarterback position, the only thing that really matters is not really your statistics or touchdowns. It's, are you winning games, or or are you losing games? And if you do make mistakes, if you do have a pick six or something, how are you at that moment, how are you bouncing back from that in the course of that game? Not, oh, I'm going to bounce back the next week.
Yep.
It's like, how I'm about to bounce back in the middle of this game, like, because we got to have a complete paradigm shift to give us a chance to win. And like, that was the heart-wrenching thing to me, because it was like, man, I know we would have been in the same position because I learned my lesson. I'm just like, it's like a little kid that just got a whooping that they gotta tell their daddy or mama, like, I learned my lesson. I promise you I learned my lesson. Just let me go back outside and play. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it was that type of experience.
But he played cover three different than normal safeties. He ran the ball different. When you watch Tom execute the same offense that you ran, how was that watching, like you saying, the damn GOAT, he's my GOAT, everybody think, how is that watching the best ever execute the offense better? Tell me if I'm wrong, better than you executed it.
Yeah, you wrong, because, no, seriously, because Tom was executing his offense. In the beginning of the year, like, Tom was executing the offense that was the same offense that I was installed in for that 1 year that I was in that offense.
Yeah.
But after that bye week, they were doing the things that Tom does best, with some sprinkles of the offense in, because I know BA and Byron weren't gonna have that. Yeah. But I believe he did what he did best, and I think that's one thing as a quarterback, when you're able to take something that you do best and take it to another team. That's how you continue to have the success, because there's no way that he's come from all that continuity of running one offense and he's not implementing that offense in Tampa.
Yep.
So I know that strategically, Tom did some similar things that I did, but he also, in terms of like his experience, what he's been through, he also knew the plays that he wasn't going to go to that was in the offense that may have got him in trouble. Opposed to me, with me being my first year, and I was just like, I'm gonna make everything that you call B, Coach Arians, I'm gonna make it work. Right. You know, it's my first year in this offense. Like, I'm about to execute it to the best of my abilities. I'm about to do it. Like, when you say we'll talk about it, collaborate about it, if I like this or that, but outside of that, man, I'm doing what you coached me to do. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like the capacity of changing plays or doing all that stuff, like, I'm doing it as the book. In terms of someone who's like, okay, we might have this out route, but look, it's not gonna be a 6-step out route. Hey, run a 4-step out route, because that corner is playing at 8 yards, so at least I can beat him with quickness. And if I do miss behind him a little bit, it's on your back shoulder instead of it being more up the field where he can really sloop underneath and take that thing to the house. Yeah.
Tampa to Saints, Cleveland, and now you're here in the Big Apple, the big city. You're here with Russ, and you also got a rookie that you're bringing along in Jackson Dart. Talk about the experience since arriving here in New York.
It's been great to get in a room with someone that I respected for so long in Russ. Russ kind of took me up on his ring early on in my career when we went to a Pro Bowl. He invited me to see like his team, like his West to East Russ Enterprises, like just kind of showing me, you know, what that picture looked like. And show them like this what it looks like to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback in the league. Like, these are the pieces that you have. Like, your NFL team has all these different type of pieces. You gotta have these pieces as well. And I'm very grateful that he put me on to that, because we were working with the same mental coach, Trevor Moab. So that's how we were connected. And we won the championship the same year. He won 13 championship Super Bowl. I won 13 championship in college. So our mental coach was connected together, so we just had that similarity. But the young buck, Jackson Dart, man, even back in New Orleans, even Cleveland, like, just seeing the new wave of young quarterbacks coming to the league, man, I'm so proud that, like, our NFL coaches are literally, they're not adapting, but they're coaching these quarterbacks and these kids to their best attributes. Mm-hmm. It's not like early on in my career where it literally was like, you about to run this offense. Mm-hmm. And if you don't run my offense the way that I want you to run my offense, then it's your problem. It's not me, because we're not changing nothing. Mm-hmm. Right? So just to see that really the league kind of change into like this is a quarterback in the league. We're going to do what the quarterback like to do. We're going to run these plays, and just to see all the different type of arm angles that, Patrick Mahomes and, really Matt Stafford and Aaron Rodgers, they was doing it before. Like, just seeing that be, it's not frowned upon like it was when I first got him, especially as a black quarterback. Like, you drop that ball low, he has a long release. It's gonna take, I don't know how it's gonna translate to the league and stuff. Or he likes to keep the pocket movement. He's not an on-time passer, so I don't know if this gonna be able to correlate. Like, if you can't catch him, like, prime example, if you can't catch him and he is throwing and he is really on fire, Lamar Jackson, you're not stopping him.
Can't do nothing with him.
So there's no reason to put him in a box.
Yep. Yeah.
Let Lamar be Lamar. Because when Lamar be Lamar, ain't nobody Lamar.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But Lamar ain't about to go out there and try to do what Peyton Manning do. Mm-hmm. That's not in his creed. You know what I'm saying? But when it gets to a point in the game when he got to do that, he'll go and do it. But he's not going to play the whole game like that. And that's what I see in terms of like how the coaches are catering to these young quarterbacks and doing that for them. And that's why I talk about the young rookie in Jackson Dart. Man, I believe he's truly one of the most poised, most laid back rookie quarterbacks that I've seen in my life. To have that type of aura already coming into the league, it makes me proud to see, because I'm just like, man, like, he ain't worried about that. He ain't stressed. Yeah. And you see some rookie quarterbacks, man, going bald already. They just thinking like this. You know what I'm saying? It's so much on them. Yeah. But man, I love just watching him grow, watching the relationship with him and Dave and the coaches. And obviously outside looking in, I'm just like, is that good for me? But at the end of the day, it's just like, man, it's good to see, because I'm a football junkie. Like, I love the game. Like, obviously, I love what I can do for my family, but I love the game, man. And to see the way that the game is going, catering to these young kids and just evolving in that type of, especially from an offensive standpoint. Man, you was a big backer. There ain't too many big backers like you.
No.
210 now.
You know what I'm saying? They out there.
Jameis, I have a favor, man. We're on this training camp tour, bro, and it get tiring. You know what I'm saying, Jameis? And we got to get up. Chan got jobs. I got jobs. Freddie T got jobs, and he's moving around. Sometimes we need a pregame speech, Jameis. I need you to lock in right now the game day Jameis and Fred Taylor and Channing Crowder and Ryan Clark, the pivot. Yeah. We need a speech, man, so we can go out here and do what we got to do for the rest of this training camp tour.
All right. Game 7, you can't miss. Every day y'all go out on the road, you cannot miss. The ball is still in your left hand, and you're trying to change it to the right. But you got defenders. People want to take the throne. People want to take y'all off the block. But you got to pivot. You got one pivot to separate from all the naysayers, to separate from all the haters. But you got to go up when you leave that pivot, because you don't want to travel. Even though y'all traveling a lot, after you make that pivot, after you make that decision, man, keep going up and keep speaking life into these people, keep speaking life into these families, bringing light of what people really go through from their heart. Because when you go up and the ball is out of your hands, but swish is the only sound that y'all gonna hear, because y'all making shots and y'all winning games and buzzer beaters, because it's life changing. It's changing a lot of lives, man. So y'all keep winning championships.
Shit, I'm ready to go play this, Jameis.
I know.
Man,
Off the top.
Yeah. No,
he took that quick.
I was just thinking, because I was just looking at his shirt and I was like, the pivot. Like, how I'm gonna put the
that's
pivot
how they all be. They just turn into
man,
classics
all
off
of
the
it
top.
is just it's spirit led. Honestly, like, I love my teammates, and I love the people that I'm in it with. And when I'm sitting there writing and I'm journaling and I'm thinking about, like, man, how we gonna make this happen? What can I do to speak life into them? Because, like you said, like, a lot of kids, like, a lot of people don't want the rah-rah no more.
Yeah.
But what is something that I could say that they can grab onto and just use it? If you can laugh at one thing, but it's gonna be one thing that's gonna be playing in your head nonstop that I said, that you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, let me lock into this.
Jameis, no matter who the quarterback is in New York, whether it's Russ, you, Jackson Dart, people are going to be looking to get the ball to number 1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Malik Nabers.
He deserves.
Young boy from Louisiana. What has been sort of your feel of him since you've been in New York?
Man, I love how curious he is as a young receiver. He wants to know, like, how are you looking at this route? And I'm trying to talk in my New Orleans accent. Like, so you want me to turn left hard or you want me to come back down here? Like, he's asking detailed questions. He's not just looking at the screen just like, so why he turning left? Like, he's asking detailed questions like, hey, listen, man, when you get to 9, I want you to give him a little stutter and come back to me. Don't go back down the stem, come back to me. And he be like, all right, I got you. And he goes out there and applies it. Like, his locker right next to Russ. And I be trying to eavesdrop about what they be saying, but he be, like, he really be listening. And when a young kid is listening, you got their ear. Because a lot of these young kids don't listen. Mm-hmm. And I just can tell how hungry he is because he know the market that he's in, but he's not listening to, like, what happened before him. He's just like, man, like, I love football and I'm gonna find a way to be the best. I asked him, I said, Malik, man, like what you want? And he's like, I want to be the best. I was like, what, man, tell me, like, you want 1,000? He's like, honestly, okay, I won't buy 1,500 every year, but I want to be the best while I'm doing it. Yeah. So he knows what he wants. You know, a lot of people are like, I don't care long, just give me the ball, man. Like, no, he knows what he wants. And when you know what you want, you can set your attention to it. And then when you set your attention to it, you attract it. So I'm just excited to see him because he really remind me of, like, he kind of a mix of, like, a Jamar Chase in terms of, like, his build and his explosiveness. He just has really strong hands, man. He has that other gear. He has another gear like Jamar Chase. But I ain't never thrown the ball to Jamar Chase. I done seen this number one do some unbelievable things with tracking the ball, strong hands, and it's going to be an amazing thing to see and to toss him that pill.
Like high school, I remember you coming out. You younger than us. We 40, so I was way ahead of you. But I remember hearing your name. What's it? Gatorade, everything, All-American, everything in high school. Went to Florida State. Bro, you won every award you could win. Davey O'Brien and Heisman, everything. Did the league kind of humble you when you got in the league? Because you was the best player on the field every snap until you got drafted. And first overall, they showed you was the best player. Was that humbling? Because I ain't gonna lie, the league was humbling to me. Because I was All-American, got to the league, and I was like, oh yeah, these boys running.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the league humbled me. I would say that I didn't dream big enough. Meaning that, like, I was like every kid, like, I want to make it to the league. Like, me and Michael Vick was talking about this, man. Like, my first Super Bowl was last year in New Orleans, and I found a way to sneak on the field, man, to get down there by Michael Vick. But they didn't even want to let me on the field. That was crazy. But I'm happy I knew the little stewardess. She had let me slide out. but she let me get on the field. They're my people in New Orleans. But I was talking to Vick, man, and I asked him, I was like, man, you ever think you ain't dream big enough? And he's like, man, you're right. He's like, because I never dreamed of winning a Super Bowl. I just dreamed of making it. Wow. And I was like, did you dream that you would change a whole generation of quarterbacks? He was like, I wasn't even thinking about that. I just was living it. And I was like, man, wow. Like, it's funny, like, the Lord works so good. Like, he give us the stuff that, it's amazing when he give us the stuff that we pray for. But it's unbelievable he give us the stuff that we ain't even asked for. I ain't even asked to be going into my 11th year in the NFL. I just asked the Lord to make it. And when I look at, like, my prayers to just make it, they weren't big enough. They weren't specific. So I tell the kids, I was like, man, listen, if you want to win the Super Bowl, start praying to win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. You don't want to just pray to make it to the league, because the league average is 3 years anyway. Making it then, when I was growing up, it was good enough. But now, it ain't good enough. So what was humbled was my aspirations, what I wanted. And I realized it wasn't big enough. There was more. And that's why when I say dream forever, I'm talking about dream beyond what you can even imagine. Because if you set your mind to it, if you set your attention to it, you will attract it. And I just set my attention to making it. Now, one thing about that, I did win a Heisman on my NCAA. Mm-hmm. I won that, and I won a championship on NCAA. But, you know, I've never won a Super Bowl on Madden. Didn't even play Madden like that. Never won. I'm talking about creative player.
I know what you're talking about.
I never won a Super Bowl on Madden. I didn't even go through like creating my player on Madden in the season. Never did. Not creating like my story, my franchise. I never even did that. And honestly, I feel like somehow they correlate. You know, it don't work like that to other people, but I feel like I'm a visionary. So I feel like if I would have just won a few more Super Bowls in Madden, or even won one, I had one. You know what I'm saying?
This is perfect. Speaking of Madden, you had a lot to do with the ratings this year, right? You were a part of EA Sports. What was that experience like for somebody who played college, who has played Madden, to now be involved with it?
Man, it was unbelievable being able to share their rating, you know, because ain't nobody sharing that with them after they get that draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get that draft pick, so I was their next Roger Goodell. That's why I tell people with Tom Brady, with the blonde, I was like, well, technically, I'm the black Drew Bledsoe, if you really look at it. Because without me, y'all don't get Tom B. And without Tom B, y'all don't win no Super Bowl. So, like, you better look at it like that in a positive way. But in terms of man ratings, man, it was just welcoming, because I remember my man rating, which was way below what I expected. So just to see their faces from a man rating, man, it just tells how a game can help you visualize what you want to become, and sometimes how we even look at our attributes on a game as representation of who we are. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you do, you're gonna be mad, because the man ratings don't be playing.
All right, man, so we got some 99s here. I was never a 99 in anything. I didn't get even like a 99 attribute. I think they should have had my intelligence that high.
Yes.
But 99s, man, we got Josh Allen, we got Jamar Chase, Myles Garrett, Justin Jefferson, Lamar Jackson, Lane Johnson. Like, all of these guys are 99s. When you think about being on Madden and those players being so good that that's their rating, what's your first thought about what they've accomplished?
My first thought is they're unstoppable when they're out there on the field. Like, the game goes through them. And those people that you name, like, the game definitely goes through them. Now, granted, Jamar Chase, he has a great quarterback. Jetta, Sam had an amazing year last year, but he was doing it before Sam. He was doing it with Kurt and so on. And Lamar, when I hear Lamar and Josh, one, they win football games, and two, they're able to make plays with their feet that nobody else can make. And they're able to make throws that a lot of other players aren't able to make. But what separates them is at the end of the game, when the ball is in their hand, they literally are the best player on the field with the ball. Whether it's athleticism, whether it's like instincts, whether it's awareness, like they're the best player on the field with the ball. And when you think about Lane Johnson, man, he been doing it for a long time. And to be an offensive lineman, like with a 99, I think Trent Williams probably was the last one with a 99. Like, you just know everything is closed. I mean, it's Chick-fil-A on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chick-fil-A need to go ahead and sponsor Lane Johnson, because everything is closed.
And the cover boy, Saquon Barkley, 99.
Saquon, no, I'm grateful that Saquon is getting his flowers and he is showing the world what type of dynamic back he is, not just in between the trenches, but outside as well, catching the ball. Him and Jalen, man, are him and Jalen are what the league never wanted to see.
Why is that?
Well, because Jalen's poised, and like Jalen, he's gonna get like the simple stuff. Like, he gonna get 5 yards here, 8 yards there, 9 yards there, 3 yards there, and then boom, he bombed me over bad that. They said we were never able to play like that from a cornerback position. Saquon is, he's too shifty. Oh, he doesn't run down. He doesn't run in between the tackles. Oh, he dodges tackles and stuff. Like, they were like, oh, you're not gonna be able to play it. A finesse back isn't gonna be able to make it like that. And they're outdoing the odds, both of them. You know, Saquon had a team that didn't believe in him. You know, I'm grateful to be with that team now. But he had a team that didn't believe in the type of player that he is. Yeah. You know, and he used that to fuel his fire. Jalen is still getting doubted. Yeah. By naysayers. And all he's done is what I said. What's the most important thing a quarterback do? Win.
Win.
That's all a quarterback has to do.
Yeah, man, I remember that transition, bro. Yeah, I was 93 at Florida, then they got me at 78 in the Dolphins. It wasn't what I wanted. But the young boys coming in, what do you think about these top-rated rookies that's coming? Who's going to really impact the league?
Man, I see one every day, and Abdul Carter, man. He is electric. And you know this, man. When you got a player that can play in space and can rush the passer, that's dynamic because you don't have an answer for that. You're able to keep that player on the field at all times. And just add with the weapons that we have on that front fold, oh my goodness.
Yes, indeed.
It just don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like when you can draft someone that is already ready and equipped to fit in with a Kayvon Thibodeau, a Byron Burns, a Dexter Lawrence, a Nacho. He has the supporting cast already for him. And I'm saying this about a D lineman. I'm not saying about a quarterback or receiver. He has the supporting cast for him to make the most splash of any rookie ever.
Going back to the 99 Club, is it anyone that's not on the list that you probably would have liked to see in the 99 Club?
I mean, Patrick Mahomes, I don't know how you keep him off the 99 Club, and just Jalen took the king from him last year, but he's still just a very electric player. Patrick Mahomes, man, just how he changed the game, man. He does it his way, right. and it's really fun watching him play.
Okay, I just got to ask this question, man, because I'm from the NO. When you became a Saint, was your head on a swivel looking for Marshawn Lattimore?
Man, me and Marshawn, me and Marshawn had like a beef until probably about like the 5th day of training camp, where I just kept talking. I'm like, Marshawn, like, you gonna be mad at me the whole time? and like I'm talking at practice, and Mike Thomas is like, he don't really like you like that. Because Marshawn, like, he wouldn't just say that. He just I hate, like, do stuff like that. Like, you ain't finna mess with Marshawn. He from Cleveland. I ain't messing with him. You know what I'm saying? I had my boy Justin Hardy on the team, and him and Hardy went to high school together. So I'm telling Hardy, I'm like, Hardy, man, like, talk to Marshawn. Like, we teammates now. Like, when I'm talking on the field, I'm talking about the field. I'm not talking about what happened a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? And then his biggest thing was, it wasn't me. He was mad at Mike Evans. And I was like, bro, look, I went the wrong way. I was like, man, listen, Mike can't help that he be beating you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a friendly competition. Like, man, I'll be strapping him up. I'm like, you right. But what was going? It was because Mike pushed him from behind, right? And I know I stimulated that whole thing, and I apologize.
You started it.
I did. I started, but Mike finished it. But in that moment, I was like, no, you right. And I was like, and that's why I apologize to you. It's not Mike. Mike had my back, just like Mike T got your back. I was like, now we can fight right now, and I'm fighting for Mike. But I'm your teammate, bro. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, I'm your teammate, and I'm not gonna stop pursuing you as a teammate because we're brothers now. And then he was like, all right, go over there. And I was like, so we good? And then he looked at me like, cause he got them nice veneers, he just looked at me like, we good. And then Mike Thomas, he's like, he still don't like you though. And I was like, we was good. And then I was able to start like really talking with him and just breaking bread with him. It ended up being good.
Right. And the last question is one of our favorites. What is your biggest pivot in life? That's that one moment you can look back on and say, without this happening to me or for me, I wouldn't be who I am today.
I think my biggest pivot is when I decided to marry my wife. I understood like what certain sacrifices was in terms of like just truly choosing her, and not just choosing her just because she was there, but choosing her just because I knew that like I didn't want nobody else but her. And that was a big pivot for me just because I know the choices that I made to like do right by her, by honoring our marriage, was a choice based off of pain and based off of wrongment to her. And it was also like just my my parents requiring it from me, but that's when I kind of chose her over, you know, my parents, my people, my blood. And that helped me so much because I was outside of that childlike stage. And I was making decisions for myself. And I was standing on those decisions, not wavering from those decisions. And that came with, you know, the 2019 year, the 2020 year during COVID, 2021 year, the very next year. Like, those years were all simultaneous after choosing her to be my wife. 1 year I had an up and down year. The other year, I had to sit behind Drew Brees, learn from him, and, you know, be on vet minimum. In the third year, where I was having a great year and ended up getting hurt. And out of all those years, I was like, man, like, me choosing her and wanting to be her is bigger than everything that I just experienced from a football perspective. And that is, I got more peace in my wife and who she is and why I love her than I have in anything else. So, like, that was my biggest pivot, because choosing to do right by her and love her has helped me overcome some of the worst times in my life. Just because I knew that commitment to her and that love for her is going to be it. Like the Bible says, love your wife as Christ loved the church. So me being willing to sacrifice and die for her, I think that I'm willing to sacrifice and die for my teammates. But it ain't nobody that I look in a high light or hold up on a pedestal like I do my wife. But Jesus and God. So that was the biggest pivot.
It's dope.
Man, we've been wanting to do this for a long time. It was everything I expected to be, man. You are truly a special human.
Thank you.
I've gotten to be around you enough times now to watch people listen to you, watch people interact and react to you. And some people are just blessed in ways where they are impactful in no matter what room they're in, man. And I got to see it on Hard Knocks when you went from being the starter to the backup, and the way you treated those young men and the way you served them. There's something God put in you that he doesn't put in many, man. So keep being who you are, man.
Sir.
It's inspiring to us all.
No, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much, man, just for this opportunity. And thank you, RC, just for being stand up, man. I see you everywhere. But, man, like, just know the Lord got his hand on you, and he's using your leadership to guide all these other men and all people that's coming up behind you to do amazing things, man. And I just thank y'all for keeping it real and just giving us a perspective that a lot of athletes don't see. Because this is really, it's locker room talk, but it can be men's health journal talk.
Yeah.
Because y'all perspective is so real and so pure.
Right.
And we need more of that, man, especially us. We need way more of that, so thank you.
Nah, man, thank you, man. Pivot fam, thank y'all for pivoting with us. Cool. That was excellent, man.
Man, that shit was so good.
Even the damn 99 I got all into damn Madden talking. That wasn't even for the show.
Man,
Jameis one of them interviews you don't never want to end, bro.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.